does it mean to be a young woman in India today? To be someone who has access to the best quality education that the country has to offer? What are the kind of choices that our young women are making? What is the road ahead like, even as we look at the state of women in the country? In the glass certainly half full for many, even if the challenges ahead are plenty. That's what we're looking at today in a freewheeling conversation with some of India's brightest minds at the prestigious Miranda House College here in New Delhi, with a bunch of students who sort of been braving the heat and spending some time waiting for us. So thanks all so much for taking out time to be with us. Also the faculty with us, and also very honored to have the principal of Miranda House, Dr. Pratibha Jolly, joining us. Thanks so much, ma'am, for taking out time for us today. Let me start by asking you, when you chose the course that you did, the college that you did, what all were the kind of things that were playing on your mind?
I am from a school that is, it was a girls' school.
Right.
So I wanted to join a college which is also a girls' college. So
see.
Miranda House is the
Okay.
best option that I could get.
That's interesting, because actually the last college that we were, all those who were from girls, who were from a girls' school background had said that we wanted to therefore go to a co-ed college. But I guess that, the opinions mixed. What about you?
My parents wanted me to get into engineering, so it was hard to convince them. But I had applied for DU, and then as the cutoff came out, I took admission.
Ma'am, our education system is one that's become so much, there's been, just a spotlight has been on our system, on one which sort of says, either you're now 100% or nothing. In this kind of a scenario, what would you say to all those who sort of are hungry for a good education? They want to go, but are unfortunately sometimes let down by those few bad days which sort of make a difference to their lives.
Yeah, it's actually quite heart-rending that marks is the criteria for getting into institutions, and the best institutions have very, very high cutoff. You rightly said
Understandably.
it's 100 on
Right.
100,
Right.
but that happens to be the only fair, transparent
Absolutely.
way by which you can, make admissions. Otherwise, it's just too much
Absolutely.
of nepotism.
Right.
I think that all-round development is extremely important. I do feel that there is undue emphasis on degree programs and education that's linked to degrees.
Right, right.
Because, and like one of this, she just now said that her parents wanted her to do engineering,
right.
and there are just that many seats. What's important is what's the passion that a student has.
Right, absolutely.
And luckily, if you start looking at the workplace now, it's not your marks that are determining where
There's
you're
so much
going
else,
to
right,
make good. I mean,
right.
the opportunities are tremendous.
Right.
And opening up of the workspace, and I think a more coherent policy of looking for talent,
Right.
inherent talent,
Right.
looking at the portfolio of achievements rather than marks,
Right.
that needs to be emphasized.
If I could just ask you, when you chose your course, how much of homework really went into it?
I wanted to do fashion designing, but
I
I
see.
don't know how I landed up into economics honors. But
Yeah.
now I'm very proud that I'm a part of this course and a
Right.
college, because here the people are very, they have a very feminine force in them.
Yeah.
The girls are very passionate, so I like it.
Right. And you know that after eco-honors, the world is still at your door. There's nothing stopping you from going back into fashion, going back into design. That's the nice thing about the space that we're in now, that there are no rules. No, ma'am, isn't that correct? You see people with such varied backgrounds ending up doing such diverse things. I mean,
It's not this or that any longer. It is this and that
that,
and that.
and that, right.
And so and you don't have to follow a very linear path. You can explore many options.
right, that really is wonderful. I saw you, of course, in full agreement with her.
Yeah.
Add to that.
Actually, I wanted to take up physics honors, and then I
Oh, wow.
ended up in mathematics honors.
I see.
And after exploring options in mathematics honors, I realized that how much one can do. And after studying this course, I realized that I actually had a passion for it.
Right.
I actually enjoy doing it.
Right.
So it's like it doesn't matter if you don't get the course of your choice. It doesn't matter if you don't get the college of your choice.
How do you see, not just for Miranda, but as an institution, what do you believe is
I think it's extremely important because we see our role as a predominantly undergraduate college as we're bridging to the workspace. So one hand, as part of beyond the classroom activities, we also work with schools to enrich the school education, to bring them in, at least have one day when the college becomes a children's university almost, and students, our students become mentors, and they're as community engagement, working with those who are in, say, formal or a school or outside. But on the other hand, much more importantly, networking with the professional workspaces. So this is where we see that we have very porous boundaries, and you have to keep giving them opportunities, be it our experts, resource persons who come here for workshops or colloquias or add-on courses, or our students who can go across the country. And also it's not about just men or women. We are a women's institution because historically that's how we were, we came up. So we're too liberal to say that education has to be only for women or it has to be co-educational. So this is how we are. But for all programs, we do invite the very best from the best institutions. So, the girls have an opportunity to network and compete. So they know that, well, you're holding up half the sky, and it's not that, that there is some ism that's going to bind you down. So there has been a time where these issues were really on the forefronts, though women's security is still very high on the agenda. But these are privileged students, so they have to spend a lot of time thinking of themselves already as confident women who can tackle many of these situations with ease, but take on the bigger challenges, the task of nation building or building a career or having, leading pioneering movements and stuff like that. So I think that's where they are getting enough opportunity to challenge their own selves.
Someone's of course mentioning safety and how we need to sort of, no matter how liberal the environment within college may be, the real world does lie outside, and whatever you may be here, lots of times we are told that it's just so frustrating to be told don't do this, don't do that, don't wear this, don't wear that. I can see everybody nodding in agreement, and I felt like that too. So tell me, how do you sort of deal with it? Be careful what you look like, be careful what you say, be careful. I mean, are you sort of dressed appropriately? How much of this sort of plays on your mind? And I can imagine it is very frustrating. I know it is very frustrating.
Yeah, we can't say we would ignore that sort of that thing goes around in our mind. We have to blend in sort of, because it's not just how we carry ourselves, it's about how people look at us also. But apart from that, what are the best thing about bringing a change or about safety in our college is that our teachers just don't teach us. They train us sort of for the worst or for the best. What they make us do is that they make us rethink the obvious. That sort of make us start questioning everything around us. Like even the same, even the structure of the society, even the norms or the customs that bind us. That sort of bring us an insight that make us also think very deeply, and that make us sort of empowered to even face an injustice or stand up to that. So I think that's really important.
I live alone in Delhi, and basically living over here I think has empowered me, because I have become more I've become more independent, and in the context that even if something is going wrong and I see somebody saying a man outside coming and being really derogatory or anything like that, because it happens to all of us, I have started standing up for myself, and I have gone to them personally and told them, because there was an event in the recent past where this middle-aged man clicked pictures of me, and he saw me and he still clicked pictures. So I went up to him and I told him and I screamed at him saying, what are you doing? And he actually got scared. So I think that was empowering for me, because
Bengal tiger. That is what it's all about.
I went to him and I told him. So I think it's empowered me in the way that I can stand up for myself, especially the education that you get is also very important in spheres like this, where your mind opens up to these things instead of being dormant and being like, yeah, it's okay, hota hai.
First of all, I think that protecting girls is not the good idea. Actually, we should change the thinking. Yeah, exactly. Because even if I'm wearing a kurti salwar or I'm wearing a short dress, that doesn't make a difference. If a guy has to do something, he will do that. So the basic idea should be, to teach the children that everyone is equal. The patriarchy should not, sustain in these times.
That really is quite something. Well, the conversation, of course, continues right here. We're slipping into a quick break, but there's so much still to talk about. Back in just a moment.